Hello, dear students. I am Teacher Cheryl and welcome back to my virtual classroom. Last week, we discussed about the characteristics of vocal and instrumental music of Southeast Asian countries, as well as the musical elements of Southeast Asian countries. Before we start, let me read the objectives. After going through this module, you are expected to 1. Explore ways of producing sounds on a variety of sources that would simulate instruments being studied. 2. Improvise simple accompaniment to selected Southeast Asian music. This part of module will provide you a little tour of Southeast Asia. It is very important for you to learn the basic historical background and basic concepts that you will need as you go on with the lessons. Our discussion will focus on the instrumental music of Southeast Asian countries, particularly in Cambodia, Indonesia, Laos, Malaysia, Myanmar, Singapore, Thailand, and Vietnam. Now, let us proceed to our topic, which is the musical instruments of Southeast Asian countries. Let's take a look at the instrumental music of Cambodia. PINPEAT is a Cambodian musical ensemble or an orchestra that usually accompanies ceremonial music of the royal courts and temples. Musical instruments includes Samphor, a double-headed drum played with hands. Oneat, xylophones. Ching, a finger cymbals. Skorthom, two big drums similar to Japanese. And Kongvong, a gong circles. This is an image of the PINPEAT. Let us watch the video on the next slide. Next, we have the instrumental music of Indonesia. Gamelan ensemble is the most popular form of music in Indonesia. There are many types of gamelan, but Javanese and Balinese gamelan are the most famous. Karawitan is the term for every kind of gamelan music in Java. Gamelan orchestras, on the other hand, are used to accompany dances, songs, and wayang kulit. Believed to possess natural powers, consider their instruments sacred. Therefore, stepping over the instrument is a sign of disrespect. Musicians bow before playing the instruments to show some respect. It contains a variety of instruments such as metallophones, xylophones, kendang and gongs, bamboo flutes, bowed and plucked instruments. There are two basic kinds of Indonesian music scale. First, we have slendro, 5 equidistant tones in octave. Second is telok, a heptatonic tone scale with semitone. Take note, irama is an Indonesian term for tempo. Next, we have the instrumental music of Myanmar. Saingwaing is Myanmar's traditional folk music ensemble. It is made up mainly of different gongs and drums as well as other instruments depending on the nature of the performance. Musical instruments includes ne, a double reed pipe, chaoklonpat, a set of 8 tuned drums, maong saing, larger bronze gongs in a rectangular frame, patwaing, a set of 21 drums in a circle, and saonggaok, the national instrument of Myanmar with 13 strings angular harp with soft sound, patala, a Burmese xylophone. Next is the instrumental music of Malaysia. Its ensemble includes agung and kulintang, a gong-based musical ensemble commonly used in funerals and weddings in East Malaysia. This type of ensemble is similar to the kulintang of the Philippines, Brunei, and Indonesia. Kertok, a musical ensemble from the Malay Peninsula that consists of xylophones played swiftly and rhythmically in traditional Malay functions. Dikir Barat, it is performed by singing in groups and often in a competitive manner, usually with percussion instrumental accompaniment or sometimes without instruments at all. Silat Melayu, a form of martial art that is similar to Tai Chi, originated in the Malay Peninsula since the Christian era. It is a mixture of martial arts, dance, and music, usually accompanied by gongs, drums, and Indian oboes.
Saling menyalirlah di kau, menjadi raksa mengisi belikat tubuhku.
Next is the instrumental music of Thailand, and some includes PINPEAT, a mid-sized orchestra that is performed in either outdoor style with hard malays or indoor style with padded malays. Truweng Sai, an orchestra that combines some of the percussion and wind instruments of the PINPEAT with an expanded string section. This group is primarily used for indoor performances and for the accompaniment of stick puppet theater. Mahori. It is traditionally played by women in the courts of central Thailand and Cambodia. Because of this, instruments for this ensemble are historically smaller. However, regular-sized instruments are used today. Its scale is based on the 5-tone or 7-tone scale system. Now, let us proceed to the instrumental music of Vietnam. Imperial Court Music. The most popular of this kind is the nahnak that was popularly performed during the Tan Dynasty to the Nguyen Dynasty. This form of classical music is also performed in honor of the gods and scholars in temples. Folk music. This category is extremely diverse because it includes music performed both indoors and outdoors. It may be performed in musical theaters, streets, courtship rituals, and ceremonies of invoking spirits. Religious and ceremonial music. This music is performed in religious rituals or at funerals. And last but not the least, the instrumental music of Singapore. The music industry in Singapore grew having Western-influenced performances by the Singapore Symphony Orchestra as well as ethnic music performances mainly by the Singapore Chinese Orchestra. Other performing groups with Malay and Indian influence are still prevalent until today. Next, let us try to improvise simple accompaniments to selected Southeast Asian music. Let's watch video on the next slide. Good day everyone! So before we proceed with our activity today, let me first introduce to you the materials that I picked. Materials that are available at home. Okay, so we have here different sizes of bottles. So it's up to you guys if you want to put water in it. Or ito naman may bigas, chopsticks, pwede kahit na anong uring stick na makikita ninyo sa inyong paligid. Ito naman ay yung mga pangsandok. And then, ito ay lagayan ng kape, asukal, gatas. Ito naman ay balde. Okay? It's up to you guys if you use or you will use everything at once. Pero, pwedeng isa lang ang gagamitin nyo. Pwedeng ito lang. Pwedeng ito lang, or itong isang bote lang. Pwedeng ito lang, may lamang bigas, or pwede nyong lagyan ng munggo, or buhangin. Okay? Pwede namang ito lang, gawing tambol, or itong balde lang. O kaya, ito naman ang gamitin mo. It's up to you, okay? Today, let me show you an example of an improvised instrument using this pair of stick, okay? So, you can use any stick. Chopsticks ito kasi chopsticks lang ang nakita ko dito sa bahay. Pwede kayong lumabas at tumingin ng kahit na anong uri ng stick, okay? So, the title of the song is Burong Kakatuwa. It is an Indonesian song, okay? So, ang gagawin ko lang, ganito lang, okay? So, sample. Let's begin. Burung kakatuwa hinggap di jendela, nenek sudah tua, giginya tinggal dua. Lecum, 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 ulala, lecum, 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 ulala, lecum, 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 ulala, burung kakatuwa. Okay, muntik pang sumabit. That's it. So, another sample ay Philippine folk song naman. And what I am going to use is this bottle. Ang nasa loob nito ay bigas. So, pwede ninyo ring lagyan ng kahit monggo or sand, buhangin sa loob. Ang importante ay tutunog siya. Okay, so let's begin. The title of the song is Tong Tong Tong, Tong Titong. Okay, so ready? Tong 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 takitong titong alimango sa dagat, malaki at masarap, mahirap punigin sapagkat nangangagat. Tong 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 takitong titong alimango sa dagat, malaki masarap, mahirap hulihin sapagkat nangangagat. Alright! And for our next sample, we have tada! Lagayan ng kape, asukal at gatas. And of course, pair of stick, gagamitin kong pantambol. And ang kakantahin ko ay Chan Malichan, another folk song from Indonesia. Okay, let's start. Di man na diya, anak kang Bisaya, yang makan daun talas. Di man na diya, buah hati saya, bagay telur di kupas. Chan Malichan, Chan Malichan, Chan Malichan, ketipong payang. Chan Malichan, Chan Malichan, Chan Malichan, ketipong payong. Ganon, okay? Sample lang yon, so wag seseryosohin. For another sample, I will be using these bottles. Okay? I will be singing Bahay Kubo, a Philippine folk song. Okay? So, gagamitin ko ulit ang two sticks na ito para gawing pantambol. Okay? So, let's start. 1, 2, 3. Bahay kubo, kahit munti, ang halaman doon ay sari-sari, singkamas at talong, sigarilyas at mani, sitaw, bataw, patani, kundol, patola, upot, kalabasa, at saka meron pa labanos, mustasa, sibuyas, kamatis, bawang at luya. Sa paligid-ligid ay puno ng linga. That's it, class! And there you have it! Meron ka ng performance task sa music. Okay? So, meron ka ng grade kay ma'am. Yan yung mahalaga. Meron kang sinubmit. Okay? You did your best and that's okay. So, to sum it up, the different Southeast Asian countries have different musical instruments yet share similarities. All of them have chordophones, idiophones, aerophones, and membranophones. These musical instruments sometimes are grouped into ensembles according to purpose, like ceremonial or religious court music, folk music, indoor and outdoor music, and the like. That ends our lesson for today. Thank you so much for watching. See you again next week for another lesson in MAPE 8. Again, this is Teacher Cheryl. Keep safe, everyone. Bye!